YouTube, what it do? It is your boy Benji, and we back on TV. We love all things entertainment, and we in between the ropes right now with another episode of Monday Night Raw. It was one of those, alright. It was just one of those. You know, following up last week was gonna be tough, and I guess they tried, even though the entire episode seems like a duplicate of exactly what we saw last week. Literally. End of the day, I'm gonna be headed to SmackDown this weekend, so I'm gonna try to stay positive. I'm gonna try and vlog it too, though. The experience. But let's get into it, man. The show opened with CM Punk showing up. Of course, letting everybody know that he was a fool for trusting Paul Heyman. Yeah. It was his fault for trusting Paul Heyman. Yeah. He should have never trusted that fat snake. Absolutely. Let's think about it. Paul Heyman already turned on you. And then why would you trust a guy who's then been rocking with Roman Reigns after he already slimed out Brock Lesnar for Roman Reigns, and then just because you asked for a favor, he's switching up on Roman? You should have known this dude was unfaithful. Come on, bruh. He already saw what he did to you. You saw what he did to Brock. You saw what he did to Roman. The dude has no loyalty. Paul Heyman comes out and tries to defend himself, even though we don't really have a clear answer as to why he's with Seth Rollins. I mean, sure, I can understand why he may have turned on CM Punk. I can understand why he may have turned on Roman Reigns. What would have led to him lining up with Seth Rollins? Because if any of us have solid memory like we're supposed to, over the last couple years, Paul Heyman has talked about how much he despises Seth Rollins. Maybe it was just an act to join the majority rules because he was aligning with Roman Reigns, but I remember how much he talked about how he hated this dude's song, how much he talked about how much he despised Seth Rollins as an individual. At the very least, he at least alleged that he had some type of respect for Cody Rhodes and Cody Rhodes' dad. No sentiments have been shared about Seth Rollins. Anyways, Seth Rollins sends Braun Breaker out there to sick on CM Punk, and these two get to a war. Obviously, the numbers game catches up to CM Punk, and Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins double team the dude. At least, like I said, he stands on business and mentions that he is not going to allow Seth Rollins to grab a championship while he is on 2 feet. I'm not upset at that. Sami Zayn runs out to help CM Punk, and these two later form an allegiance because on Saturday night's main event, we're going to be getting a tag team match between these 4 guys. CM Punk talks about how tough it is for him to trust people, and we all know that CM Punk's going to be eating a haluva kick by Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn's going to be, oh, it was an accident. Jey Uso then comes out to help these boys. Brother, how about you focus on your championship? How about that? I mean, you got challengers coming out the wazoo. Anyways, Penta pops out again. He's dripped in blue like a Willy Wonka episode, and he matches up against Chad Gable, who just still cannot seem to catch a win. He needs to take some tips from a Grande Americano. Again, it seems like the direction is going to be Penta looking for help. Everybody's against him, and there's no clear direction for him. At least as a singles competitor. I mean, the dude literally did an interview in the Raw recap talking about how the numbers game is starting to catch up to him, and he's got something up his sleeve for these guys. Which probably means he's going to be tagging with his brother. The New Day pops out, and again, I think it's been delayed enough that we got to see them as champions. Unfortunately, I don't think many of us care too much, but the War Raiders match up against the Creed brothers. I don't really know what the New Day's motivations are, other than to just show everybody that they are not washed up, that they are legit, they are serious tag mans. They literally banished E, and that's it. We haven't heard anything about him. We haven't really got to see much of development from the New Day, but interestingly enough, they at least have the championship belts, and we get to watch these guys battle in the ring. They are, of course, talented in the ring. I don't understand any motives behind what the War Raiders nor the Creed brothers are looking to accomplish, other than, I guess, just get tag gold. But they need to step to the back of the line, because where is Awesome Theory and Grayson Waller? Shout out to Jey Uso, who then makes another entrance and yeets with the crowd. And then he stands up to Gunther and letting them know that he's here now. I'm here. This is why I'm here. I got a championship. And then Gunther decides to just challenge this dude for the championship back. Nobody wants to see you guys run it back. Nobody wants to see that. I don't care. You can't just slide right back into the championship position just because you beat Pat McAfee. That's not how that works. You beat Pat McAfee. That like literally that's like entry level to the WWE. Like, anybody in that locker room can beat Pat McAfee. Why should any of us care that just because you beat Pat McAfee, you're supposed to then climb the ladder back to the ranks of World Heavyweight Champion and decide to declare a rematch against this dude? Again, if this is like an NBA playoff series, Jey Uso would be down big. Unfortunately, brother, you don't get the challenge again for this championship belt. Stop it. Get to the back of the line, Gunther. Anyways, we later see the Judgment Day and Finn Balor show up for the match against AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. Cool. Awesome. Sounds great. Unfortunately, we all know what's going to happen. Finn Balor will eat a pin. And yes, while AJ Styles beats the numbers game, and Penta shows up to, I guess, enact revenge on the Judgment Day for costing him an opportunity at the championship belt over the weekend. In the midst of all the chaos, AJ Styles gets the W. I ain't gonna lie, this like off JD Madonna's back to hit him with a Mexican Destroyer was nice. AJ Styles wins. Again, I don't think any of us know what the heck he's doing. Later in the show, we get Becky Lynch popping out to let everybody know she just only left because of the internet. You people. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually, even though it's been terribly built, I'm actually a little bit more here for her heel turn because it makes a little bit more sense. And of course, I was actually listening to a video earlier today. Shout out to, I think it was Nate Knows It All. I was listening to him, and I think he made a good point as to why the heels aren't getting heat, and as to why the babyfaces just can't seem to get over, and why a lot of us just sit here and be confused because it's almost as if everything's flipped. I understand that there's been some points on the behalf of the creative of trying to make all these heels justified. Becky Lynch, unfortunately, you're not justified in your decision making, but almost every scenario is painted as if they are the underdog, and the good guy is chasing after them. So typically, we just end up unconsciously rooting for the underdog. Think about it. There's years of equity built up in Becky Lynch. Years of demand being called the greatest, one of the 4 horsewomen. To then in one night have her turn on Lyra Valkyria, and then we're all supposed to just act like that's no big deal. After they won a championship, it would have made a little bit more sense if the end of the day they could have lost and then got a rematch and lost again, and then that would have pushed Becky over the edge. How do you win a championship at WrestleMania and then right afterwards lose it the next night? And any of us are supposed to care that she's manhandle slamming Lyra Valkyria? I mean, at the very least, build up a little bit of heat between these two women. But yeah, I don't really care. Maybe this is going to lead to some type of match between Becky Lynch and Bayley, but again, I don't really care. We then get Giulia and ROXXANE versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I mean, solid enough in-ring competition, but unfortunately, we all knew what was going to happen. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky win, and this becomes a thing where at the very end of the match, we get Io Sky holding up her championship belt, only for Rhea to look at that belt longingly, lustfully. Rhea, no, you do not get a challenge for that belt again. But I guess at this point, anybody can challenge for the belt on any show because it looks like on Raw, people can just do whatever they want to do. Seth Rollins just shows up and says, I want to challenge Jey Uso for the belt. Huh, consider it done. Gunther just shows up and says, I want to challenge Jey Uso for the belt. Okay, gotcha. We scheduled a match for you in a couple months. Logan Paul says, yeah, Jey Uso, I want to get that belt. Yeah, Jey Uso, you got a match. Jey Uso, every time he's been on an episode of something, he's had to defend his championship. But what the heck? We got that dudes that are going months without defending the championship belt. This is crazy work. It's madness. And Rhea Ripley, we've seen how many times she's just been able to just show up and challenge for the belt. She literally got invited to a triple threat match that she was not actually originally written into. She did no work in order to actually win anything that would actually invite her into that match. Unfortunately, she just said, you know what, I want to be in it, and that's what works. That's what happens on Raw. Anybody can just show up and challenge anybody for anything, and that's okay. No big deal. No merit. Paul McAfee just showed up and said, I want to fight Gunther. Gunther said, okay, gotcha. No big deal. Let's do it. Let's run it. Liv Morgan and Raquel got to challenge Becky Lynch and Lara Valkyria for a rematch. No big deal. Consider it done. Becky Lynch puts Lara Valkyria through a mat multiple times and says, you know what I want? I want that championship. Oh yeah, no problem. We got you in a couple weeks. Anybody can just show up and challenge for anything. We literally just saw, even though it was supposed to be the introduction of Rusev to the show, Otis and Tozawa show up with Maxine. Maxine says, you know what, New Day, we're going to challenge y'all for this match just because. And they literally were granted a match. That's what happens on Raw. That's what happens. Just show up and ask and you will receive. I mean, at the end of the day, the episode kind of flew by. I don't really understand the direction of anything. I mean, it looks like we're just leading everything up to Saturday night's main event and potentially Money in the Bank. There was a little scene afterwards where Julia's talking about she's looking at Roxanne a little bit essentially, and Roxanne's like, you know, we need to regroup, we need to re-strategize, and we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this. Julia says there's no we. Cut that right there. Leave it where it lays. We're done here. Alright. So I guess that means that's the end of their tenure on the main roster. I don't know what this means. Additionally, we've got like Braun Breaker matching up against Jey Uso next week. Guys, I'm so baffled. I don't get what's going on. But you know what? Whatever floats your boat, whatever works, that's what we get. Look, if I just like to let y'all comments be heard in the comment section below. Stay tuned to the next video. The next video, if I'm not watching a TV show or a movie, I'll probably be at Friday Night SmackDown live and in the flesh, in order to tell y'all my opinion real time.